Welcome to the wonderful world of Waikato Sheds. We're out the back here in Morrinsville on a beautiful little site. We've got this beautiful big red shed here. I'm here with Mark.
G'day Bronick, how you going?
Good, yourself?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we have a masterpiece of a shed behind us.
Yep.
Do you want to fill us in on a few details of the specs?
Okay, well this shed is my perfect size. It's 20 metres long by 12 metres wide. And the reason I like that is that these sheds can be very, very adaptable. They can be garages, they can be workshops, they can be anything, sleep outs, whatever you like. This is a really good size shed. We are 3.5 metres to the knee. We've got these beautiful sectional doors on here, and each one of these sectional doors is 3 metres wide and 2.8 metres high. So big enough for a ute, big enough for a van, or even an RV, which is really, really cool.
What as the customer, when they came into the office in Eureka and saw you, what were some of their design needs in this, shall we say? What were they wanting out of it?
Well, when they came and saw us, and again, they were recommended by a previous customer, which was really cool. They were asking for things like they are car enthusiasts, so they wanted somewhere to put their car, but they also wanted to future-proof it. So if they decide to put an RV in here later on, or a boat, it could be. The other thing also is that they wanted a toilet in here, so it was a workshop with a toilet, so he doesn't need to go all the way back to the house when he's working on it. Yeah. The other thing they wanted is they wanted a door on the other side so they can go from the old shed to the new shed easily. And lastly, a hoist. They wanted some thickening in the pad so we could have a hoist. Hence the reason why we've gone the shed so high as well, so we can do that as well.
Yes, so some really important things there, that even if you, when you're in the process and you think, I would like a hoist, but you might not think you're going to do it straight away, really worth talking to the salesman about that, so that we can put the thickenings into the pad, so even if it's 5-10 years down the track, you're still able to put a hoist in. Correct. Because obviously if you hadn't designed the pad for that, it wouldn't be strong enough.
Correct, and if you put a hoist on with a standard 100mm slab, and then you put all the weight on that, the pressure is in certain areas, and it will go straight through your concrete.
Yeah, so when you've got the engineers involved, they've just engineered out a deeper footing where that's going to go.
Correct.
And they're usually probably, 600 by 600,
about
so there's quite a bit of room to sort of work around in that space.
It all depends on the hoist, and sometimes we ask you what type of hoist you're going, whether it's going to be a 2-post hoist or a 4-post hoist. We also like to know what's going on the hoist as well. I mean, it's very different to have a car as opposed to an RV, different weights.
Yes. Yeah, cool. When the customers came in, you'd said they'd been referred to us by an old client, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
And they would have come to the decision of choosing a colour. And I love the colour that they've gone with. Do you know how that came about, that they decided to go this colour?
It came around in a couple of ways. Firstly, they had seen some of our old videos.
Yes.
And they'd seen some of the colours on some of the old videos. The other thing also is that they've got one of the original homesteads in the area here, and they wanted something that was heritage looking, in keeping with what used to be around.
Yeah, nice.
And I know that the red has a special reason behind it.
Yeah, so they've gone Pioneer Red, and then cloud gutters and corner flashings, and then these awesome sectional doors from B&D Doors, fitted up by our mates at Dominated Doors Waikato.
Yes.
So they've done an awesome job. So they're sectional doors. They look a little bit different to some of the panel sectional doors we've done in the past.
These are, I think, are
Aspens, really nice looking, and when we go inside we'll see that they actually rake up into the ceiling, which is going to save on space and looks really cool. There's probably a really good tip is when you're starting to think about getting a shed, watching through our catalogue of videos on YouTube, which shows all the different designs we've done in the past, but also all the different colour schemes to start to work out what you might like the look of.
Definitely, and if you're unsure, just ask us. We'll help you out where we can.
Yeah, and then when they do come in to see either yourself, Glenn or Thomas, we've got colour charts at work. Correct. So you'll be able to send them home with a sample.
We can send them home with samples, and we don't, with the Colorsteel, it's not just a cardboard sample. With Colorsteel, it's actually a proper colour steel. And it's a decent size, so you can take it out. And what I suggest to everybody, if you've got a sample, take it home, put it in the different daylights, put it in outside and see what it looks like at night, see what it looks like at dawn and dusk. It makes a big difference.
Because also what we do a lot is people will say want a shed that's out of desert sand, and that might be to match their brick home that they've built. So you can have those colour samples, take them home to be able to either match it to existing buildings or have a feel what those contrasts are going to look like.
Yes.
All right, shall we magic up this door and we could have a little walk round inside? Push of a button and this beautiful door starts going up.
Oh, listen to how quiet that is, Mark.
It's amazing, and look at it raking up into the ceiling.
It looks amazing.
And just giving you that full grandeur of how big and beautiful
this
it is
is
in
massive.
here. It is. It actually feels even bigger inside than it did outside.
This is why I love a 12 by 20. It gives you that space to do whatever you like in it.
Yes, plenty of room, as you say, in the middle of one of these bays to put a hoist in.
Yes.
And have that full room to work. So I guess one of the big things on every pad, well, every build is the pad. So who did the concrete on this one for us?
We had Graham Fisher do the concrete on this, and the reason is that he generally does a really good job to polish concrete standard.
Sort of an interesting point. So if in your build process you're thinking later on you're going to want to polish your concrete floor, that's something that you need to talk to the builders about so that the concreters can do the correct procedure to have it ready to be polished. But we do get a lot of people saying we're going to polish our floor, and then I think they price it up and they realise how expensive it is. So how much would it cost for a shed of this size to polish?
I do believe that the client's got a price for about $25,000 to price it, to polish this concrete floor. And we're not talking the entire floor, we're talking 2/3 of it.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to do it where the hoist is going to go. But in comparison, to get the same area done in carpet is going to be $3,000.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of people probably thinking initially, I'll polish my concrete floors, especially in a house, because it's going to bring the price down. Hard wearing looks beautiful, which it does, but you do just need to remember that it's quite a big price in that. But as we say, just let us know. So the beautiful thing is the concreters have done such a good job, this can be polished, and whether or not they do it or not, you've always got a beautiful concrete floor. Awesome. So in the planning process, they wanted a bathroom. Like Bronick had mentioned earlier, when you got a nice big shed like this, just having a bathroom so you can pop in, use the loo, and you don't have to go inside is really good. And what I really like here is they've done the toilet, but also on the outside of it, they're going to have a laundry vanity for washing your hands, which is absolutely genius. When you've been working on greasy cars, you want to be able to come into here and wash your hands with good quality soap and not be taking your greasy mitts inside and doing that. So what sort of things obviously when they came to you to design this, they said we want to have a bathroom in there. What sort of things do you need to work through on that?
Well, the first thing we had to try and work through was firstly, where's this septic system outside? Now, the septic system for the house is actually quite a wee way away, and it's actually an old system, so it's actually fully loaded up, so they had to do another separate system for this thing. So it's about understanding that and then understanding the costs that go along with that, and we can certainly help out where we can. If we don't know, we have people that we can ask in regards to that. The other thing also is about the design. You know, you're allowed to have a bathroom in a shed. You can't have anything more than a bathroom, but the client wanted the wash basin on the outside of the toilet, so again, didn't have to go into the toilet to wash his hands up, as you were saying. But not only that, we also had to realise that if you have a look, this liner is actually really, really long, and that's solely because they're going to have timber, and timber can't touch steel anymore, so it's got to come out 50 mil, so there's plenty of room so they can line everything and make it look nice and flush.
Yeah. So yeah, and that is, we've done this in the past, but we'll have some people like to work with timber, so he might want to line it and do it himself. If you want, we can always build one out of steel house and have our builders fit that at the same time, which does really speed up the process. So just to clarify on that, so obviously with a shed like this, we're getting a consent, and then we got a consent for a toilet, and that's reasonably straightforward. But if you wanted a full-on bathroom, that's a much bigger step, or how does that work?
Again, the waste water and everything has to go somewhere.
Yes.
So whether it's a toilet or whether it's a bathroom, it's got to go to the same place. So it's a case of getting some reports done, and those reports tell us how big your tanks need to be, or how big your septic fields needs to be, and then we can recommend what to do, and then we can either pull in people that we know, or they can do it themselves. Now, Mark, you were involved in quite a bit of this build process, wasn't it? So what things do you look out for when you come on site?
Yeah, so you're right. So I'd been on site quite a few times, being the site manager, and checking it out, checking Kyron, Jackson, Debbie and James, the work that they're doing. And then with the end of every build that we manage, I'll come out to site and do a quality control check on it. We fully trust our builders and we know they're going to do a fantastic job, but it's always good just to have that in check over at the end of the job to make sure their workmanship's up to scratch, that all the materials we've supplied and any other subcontractors we've used, like the door installers, have done a fantastic job. So we can have a little walk around now and have a look at a few of the things that I will be looking for. Obviously, first of all, overall, is the site in a nice tidy condition? Have they gotten rid of everything that didn't need to be here? So I'm looking for that. So we're over one of the things that really make or break a build, and this really goes for anybody that's a kit set client or getting their own builders to do it, is how you do your fly bracing. And Kyron does a fantastic job on this. So he's gotten his bends nice and just like a really nice bend on there, and then at the end here he's cut the edges off, made sure that it's just about the same height as the top, not sitting too proud, and they just look fantastic. So these fly braces are on 2 of these on the walls and then through on the roof as well. So they're there for added strength on the building for when the wind load's coming from the inside. But it's really just important to get these really tidy and nice and do that. So that's something I'm looking for. With these things, as you've seen more and more of them, you sort of almost notice what's not right rather than what is right. So I just have a look around, make sure everything looks right. But if you were building one yourself or having somebody come in and do it, the things you want to make sure is the details like on your J-track here, that they've just cut their corners nicely, they've got everything set in really well, same amount of screws in everywhere to keep that all looking really nice and tidy. Another big thing to look at is your knee and apex braces. So we'll have a look here, and here's a knee brace. So all of our sheds have knee and apex braces in them, and they add a lot of strength to these buildings. We have double plates in here on the haunch bracket to hold this together, but then with this knee brace in here, it's adding strength from the leg up so that we can span the distances that we can. So these are just a C-section, and then the guys have made up a template. They have angle ground away the excess so that they fit inside between the 2 legs, and then have bolted those together. So they've done a fantastic job. They've used cold galv after they've cut it, because when you've cut the galvanizing, you've cut that protective layer off. So you need to finish any of your cut edges with a cold galv product, and that fixes those, that makes sure that that's going to last. During the build, well, you will have seen, I was here one day and they had a piece of J-track up here with screws in it, and they're holding these. So when your bay sizes are getting quite big, the top hats will tend to get a bit of a bow in them. So what they've done is put that there to hold that up so they're all perfectly straight, and then as they've screwed the tin on, the tin then makes sure that these all held perfectly. So it's just little tricks and tips like that go through to make it look really nice. We can pop over to the other corner next and we'll have a look at what the roller door installers have done and check out on their workmanship. So with these awesome doors, you'll notice that these are insulated sectional doors, and some people may think, well, what are you doing that in a shed for? He is going to line all these walls over time, so it's just to keep the noise down, and just that's what they decided to go for, future proofing. So the guys from Dominator Door have done a fantastic job. Where they've done all their connections, they've cleaned up any swarf that they've created, so that looks fantastic. And they've put these reinforcing bars into both sides of the track to keep that nice. How they've attached the track up the top, they've just done a really tidy job. So it's just making sure that everything's uniform and even and looking really good. So those are some of the things I'd look for when I come into a shed like this. In this door, you can see above it, being that quite a big door, we've got a lot of bracing going into it, and some of that is for like here the motor track to run to. So when we've engineered these, or Bronick's worked with the engineer to do all the engineering in the shed, we've worked all of that out, so that's all taken care of. So yeah, just overall fantastic job. They've gotten the paper really nice and straight and tight, which is another important thing to do. So on habitable, on timber builds, often the paper will be run horizontally. On tin sheds, we can run the paper vertically, and that makes it a lot easier to do and a lot easier to get a really neat job. So that's the reason it's that way, still all up to code and looking fantastic.
Fantastic. That's really, really interesting, Mark, to hear what you look for on the inside. But now we should really see what you do on the outside of the building as well. Shall we go through this lovely door out here and have a look?
Let's go and check out what we check on outside.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I love these glass. Are they still a PA door, or what do you call these, Bronick?
Yes, well, PA door stands for personal access door, so yes, it is still a personal access door.
Yeah.
But the thing about these ones is these are actually all double glazed. The reason they're going to line the shed, the reason they've got the insulated doors is because he intends to spend a lot of time in here, and we know how cold the Waikato can get in the winter.
Yes.
So hence, insulated shed. He can work on his car all day, all night, not a problem. So yes, these are all double glazed, and they're personal access doors, PA doors. They can open in, open out, open left, open right. Can't go up or down. No, but whatever else you want, you can have. Just tell us what you want and we'll make it work.
Yeah, and I love these. Like, obviously they're letting more light in and out, but also they're a lot safer if it's a busy area. You're not just barging out and somebody could be there, you can see them. So that's fantastic. And like always, City Glass supplied these?
Yes, City Glass did all of these. Now I'm having a look at these amazing flashings here on the sides.
Yes, so this is something on all of our builds, is we allow and flash everything from the vermin flashing at the bottom to side flashings for windows, doors, head flashings and barge flashings. We're always going to flash them all, and that's something I'm going to look at when I come around and check the building. Have they got the flashings looking good? Have they got them as even as possible? Have they got them nice and tight up the top here? And is your head flashing sitting nice and tight down on the door, so that there's not going to be, when we have those nice storms that we get, any water being able to get in. And look, they've just done a fantastic job on this. They've also come through and put the door hold back on, and a beautiful little detail there on that.
And I can see Kyron's flashed it beautifully as well.
Yep, so on these, on the corrugate, there's not a lot of room to fix them to, so he's just created that little plate to be able to fix that to there. So that looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously then just looking through, making sure all their screw lines are in nice and straight and done really well. So that's it, that they've blown everything down and they've cleaned the site up nicely. This site's been amazing to work on because it's been such a nice level site with so much access around it. So
fantastic.
We'll go further around and we'll have a look at a few other details. So coming down this back, and it's just beautiful. There's tons of room out the back.
Yeah.
The clients have engaged somebody and built a big retaining wall.
Yeah, no, this was a properly engineered retaining wall. Because we've got a shed on top of it, it dropped away a little bit. We had to get it properly engineered to stop literally the earth from falling away. So yeah, it was good. But the other thing also is that we also wanted to make sure that we had enough room here, around here, so the boys had room to work, because the last thing you want is a retaining wall here, and then you're trying to put scaffolding up. It just does not work.
No, and then yeah, that's it. So it's given it heaps of room for scaffolding, lots of room for future proofing, to being able to store stuff around here as well. And then so yeah, around the side here, they've had a couple of windows put into this build as well, let that natural beautiful light in, and Kyron and the team have done a fantastic job. So they've got their 2 side flashings and a sill flashing on, so we always supply those. When you get the kit, it doesn't have any of these flashings in. Once you've built it, we measure those and they fit them up. So they've just done a fantastic job there. Other things that you're looking for is like that they've been blowing off the swarf and keeping the bottom vermin flashing nice and clean. So they've done a fantastic job there. Their cuts are nice and straight and all looking really good. Under here, so I always check and make sure that the guys have put eco foam up there on this. And look, on this build they actually haven't. They've missed that, but that's why we do these final checks. I will get some eco foam organised, come back and push that up there, and that's just going to help stop bugs, like predominantly things like wasps, being able to get in there and start a nest, which isn't what we want. No. So I'll come back with some eco foam and sort that out. Alright, so we're down at the business end of the gutter. So nice big 175 box gutter here into a 100mm downpipe. So can you tell us a bit about how do we decide what size downpipes we use and what have we got available?
Well, we've got, generally we can do any type of gutter in size. We generally try to go for the widest gutter we can, solely because if you get debris in there, it self-cleans.
Yes.
We also look at the downpipes. This is a 100mm downpipe, and they come in white, so that's why we've done that, because it contrasts with the white everywhere else. We can do 80mm downpipes, which are colour matched wherever we can.
Yeah, and we can do flax black, iron sand, and a couple of other colours in that range. There's not a full range of colours, but your most common colours are. And so when you guys put all the numbers into the computer system and work it out, it'd work out the square foot of the roof,
yes, it
the
does.
Square metres of the roof, and then say, do we need 2 downpipes, 1 downpipe, and the size.
Correct.
And then we just run those to just past the vermin, and that is our part done. And then the drain layers will come in afterwards and hook up to that. If you've already had your drain laying done, we're happy to then run them into it. But usually we just run it to here and then the drain layers take over.
I mean, one thing some people do ask is that if they're going to have tanks, they sometimes ask if we can leave them off. So we generally try to ask.
Yes.
And if we don't ask, please remind us how you want to finish this.
Yeah.
So, you know, the worst thing to do is put these on, have holes in your shed, and then they pull them off and do something else.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Always the ticket is just communicate what your plan is, and then we can help work towards that. Also, if you are living in a really build up area with a lot of trees around, we can put leaf diverters on or leaf guards on your gutters. So there's a few different options to talk to about the salesman.
Yep, always plenty of options. So let us know. And again, we don't go for 175s all the time. If it's a small shed, that seems crazy to have a gutter that's twice the size of the shed.
Yes. So
we'll try and we can get half rounds. There's many different options.
Yeah, depending on it. If it's for a shed or if it's to suit your house, we're able to work with whatever's existing and match that. So awesome. Thanks so much for watching along on this video. I'd personally like to thank Graham Fisher Concreting. Him and his team have done an awesome job on this. And then Kyron, Debbie, Jackson and James awesome work standing this all and doing all that work, and then all the other trades from the guys that have built the retaining wall, the truck drivers and everybody else, and Dominator Doors, their crew for coming out, fitting up these sectional doors, and everybody's workmanship's just been fantastic, and they have been able to create such a wonderful shed for us. Bronick, who would you like to thank?
Well, firstly, it's Fisher Windows for some amazing windows. They've done an excellent job again. New Zealand Steel, Metalcraft, thank you. Without that, we wouldn't have a shed. And I'd also like to especially thank the clients for firstly letting us film and show you this amazing shed, but also coming in and seeing us and asking us to build their shed. We're always grateful for that. So, yeah, thank you very much.